Watch out. There's this great radio station that's gonna knock your socks off. Jam 24.
Jam 24 Radio, just add music. I've got the group here, plus probably the lead singer, but I've got Mike Gatto in the building with this whole band. Do you want to introduce yourselves first of all?
I'm Chris, I'm the drummer.
Yep.
I'm Mike, and I'm Mike Gatto. I'm Jamie, I'm the bassist.
I'm Rob, I'm the other guitarist.
So I got a question. How did you guys form the group?
Two ways. I'll explain the first way.
Yeah.
The first way was I was scouted at a gig. It was just earlier than this last year.
Yeah.
It was a gig in Richmond I did, and they wanted me to play the main stage, and I needed to form a band for it basically.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, who do I know? But the other reason is because
Me and Chris, we go back, we've been best mates for like 9-10 years.
Okay.
And when I met Mike, I was like, right, do you want to try starting a band? And the idea originally was we'll do a bunch of covers, try and make some money, then use that to promote our original material, his original material, or whatever, like co-write and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of already got a drummer, you get bassist involved, and obviously you already knew Jamie.
Yeah.
And we were like, right, okay, well, let's do that. And then suddenly when Mike kind of got recognised for his music, he said, right, okay, stop the covers idea, we'll do Mike's stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, me and Jamie have been living together for 3 years.
Yeah.
Kind of.
We had something like about 5 weeks rehearsal before we played that massive festival stage.
It was good. It went well, you know.
Yeah.
But since then, we've really concentrated on getting it. I think what happened really was we, because we were in such a rush to get that gig sorted.
Yeah.
We didn't have a chance to be a band.
Yeah.
We sort of like, we've got to be ready for this. We didn't have a chance to just enjoy jamming and checking out what might work better.
Yeah.
And what was great was after that gig when we started rehearsing again, sort of turning the set into rather than just a bunch of songs that actually
Yeah.
flows. And I think that's been my favourite part. Because I've always wanted to be in a band that's kind of...
Hung out just as mates, probably about the same kind of amount of time as we spent practicing.
Yeah.
So we've got like the kind of, I don't know.
I can feel some stories coming on right now. Who's the crazy one out of the group?
Oh man, Chris. I was going to say Rob, but I'm going to say Chris.
and I have to ask, why is Chris the crazy one?
Well, do you know what? I think maybe it's just that. I don't know if it's just because I'm quite sensible in a bizarre kind of way. Like I do stupid things, but I feel bad about it. I don't really feel bad about it.
I'm going to tell these people I don't have a conscience. That's not fair at all. I've been tarred with the crazy drum brush. That's fine, I'll take that. I was crazy one time at married.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe it's that.
And so musically, you guys are going down the rock/indie movement.
That's what's it. Like, I've found like band has made it much more rock pop than it was before. Which what you've heard, the album, is kind of a pop rock.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like there's been a bit of
commercial rock.
It's
accessible rock. Let's think of a new genre. Because in the industry call it crossover.
Yeah. Very much a crossover because the style of music that you guys do that's the reason why we come down here, because you guys are very similar to a lot of bands that are in the public eye, and in Jam 24 ways you lot are like the next two below. Like, do you find it hard as a band to establish yourself differently to what other bands are out at the moment?
Yeah, it's at the moment it's difficult because I'm promoting two different things. I'm promoting the band, which is odd anyway, because I'm telling people that I'm in a band, but it's me.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's odd is I'm promoting my music, which isn't the same as the band anymore. It's kind of like there's going to come a point where when we start recording stuff as a collective group, it's going to sound different. And at the moment there's this weird kind of thing we're going through where, you know, I think you're getting either people coming and go, oh, I really like it much more now that it's rocky.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that's just the way it's gone, you know. So
I think you'll notice that the live sound that we've put together now, that none of them working, is very, very different.
Yeah.
I mean, you recognise the songs, but it's very different to what's on the.
better, in my opinion.
I just think so. It's tighter.
It's maybe not as I think the album suits its purpose as something that can be played on radio.
Yes.
But I think the live sound is, you know.
I don't know. I think we're in a.
It's more fun.
I think we're in a really interesting little place at the minute, though, because we've all come together and learned all of Mike's previous material from the last album and the EP before it.
Yeah.
We've kind of taken that and gone, how can we do this in a live setting?
Yeah.
Brought all of our individual skills into the table and actually work the parts out to make it work as a band, rather than just something that's a CD. But then now we're at the point where that's done and that's learned, and now we're going to move on to the next phase of it, which is where we all get together as a band and take Mike's material from the beginning rather than from after the fact when it's already been recorded.
It's going to be a weird moment when we start taking a song out of the set, because you get to that point when because generally you play for no longer than 35
minutes,
you
yeah.
know? And there's going to come a point where I love this song. There's going to come a point when we're going to have to think about what song is going to be left out, and it's going to be interesting that because well, you know, it's a weird thing for me because I've always just at the moment that's the set, but it's growing and you know it's going to be weird sort of thinking, well, what we're going to take out. I don't know. I have my ideas of what's going to go first.
So we're at the Durham Live Lounge Festival. You could call it a festival because it's there to promote a lot of bands and a lot of groups, and a lot of people are doing covers, a lot of people doing original songs. Like, do you find, as a group, do you find yourself it's a better environment to do it live rather than being in the studio, writing, working on something?
I bet there's a complete polarised view here.
Wow.
Go on, Bob.
I mean, I'm saying, judging by your first performance already, because you was up there on stage.
Well, I mean, the band that we're on at the beginning. The way that today's working is there's a band headlining right at the end. But other than that, all of the members of the other band that I'm in. The original bands that they're also members of are all playing today.
Okay.
So it was put together by the drummer from my other band.
Yes.
Who's the head promoter at Durham Live.
Yes.
And basically, when you say a better environment live than the studio, it kind of depends what you mean, because I mean live gigs are very different from each other. You know what I mean? So some you'll get like a really really good reception where I don't know 75, 90 to 90% of the audience are your mates.
Yes.
So you know that's really enjoyable. Sometimes you'll be playing a complete unknown. And I mean, it hasn't happened to us yet, knock on wood, but you get bottles thrown at you, you know.
Jeez.
Let's hope it doesn't happen to you guys.
No, I doubt we're going to be playing many of the dirtier working men's clubs or anything, so hopefully it won't happen. But
and we're not in the old Wild West as well.
Or Alabama as it is now.
I think it's just like there's a lot more variables when you come to the live experience. You know, there's a lot of things that are out of your control, and you've kind of got to put a lot of faith in the people that work around you to make it sound good, and that can put you on edge sometimes when things aren't, you know, from your point of view, they don't sound quite as good as they could, but then you're not in the crowd, you're not actually stood there seeing how it sounds out the front. So I suppose from that point of view, talking about control over your environment, being in the studio is a lot easier.
Well, on the other side of things, like I think it's safe to say we all enjoy studio work to some extent. Mike and I are both producers.
Yeah.
Studio.
Jamie and Chris are both, technically very, efficient, aware, sound testing and whatever else. And I'm really relishing the opportunity when we first get into the studio because I think we'll work really good. It's like kind of a cohesive unit. We've all got different specialities.
On that note, we're about to go in the studio and record a single.
Well, that was my next question as well. So a lovely segue into the next question.
Preempted.
Yeah. So you guys are in the studio now. You're going to be working on the first official Mike Gatto band.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a song. It's actually a song that's I originally recorded on my first EP.
Yeah.
As just an acoustic track.
Yeah.
And it's about two different things. It's kind of about a ridiculous sort of affection that I grew towards this person that I only knew for about a week, and I thought I was nuts, and then I went a bit mad.
Yeah.
And it's about that. So it's a bit weird, but but what's great is best thing about that song is I thought I had it and it was just in the past, and I always thought it would work as a band song, it would work well when we get a band together. My vision of it was just going to be the obvious drum beat that was going to be there and the obvious bass line, but what Jamie did, he came with this ridiculously cool bass line, and the other two guys have just sort of turned it into something that it's so far from what it was.
It's probably our dirtiest song, you know what I mean? As far as sound's concerned, it's like, think sort of Muse, it's got that kind of real gritty edge to it now.
Muse sort of a few years ago before this sort of went very
It's the first song out of all of the material that we've rehearsed so far for Mike that we've actually all taken from something that was only an acoustic song. There was nothing else on it at all. So we've had the opportunity there to try and grow it into something more, and everyone puts their bit in, puts their 2 pence in. That's probably the closest thing to a collaborative effort that we've done.
Phone Box is the title, by the way.
Nobody's mentioning.